Good morning, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Addison Green, ready to dive into the details about this upcoming massive winter storm pushing towards the Houston metro area, which the time frame is going to be later on this evening and lasting in through tomorrow morning, where once the storm is out of here, then we open the freezer door, swing it wide open for Arctic air to come surging on down as we make our way in towards Tuesday morning's time frame. Conditions outside, you can see right here in the Galveston area, all in all, not that bad. It's a chilly, dreary type scenario going on right at the beach, but come this time tomorrow, we may be seeing some maybe a little icy accumulation, maybe even a little snow falling and adhering to the surface right there in the Galveston area. So a lot is going to go on over the next 24 hours. You can certainly see a large chunk of the state. In fact, every county across Texas and across the southern plains is underneath a winter weather alert, with the predominant color being pink. That's a winter storm warning, and it's up in effect all across southeastern Texas, starting this afternoon at 3 o'clock and going all the way through 6 o'clock p.m. for Monday's time frame. So the details on this storm system, it's going to be impacting the region, like I just said, Sunday afternoon through Monday morning, where the hazards could be up to a ½ an inch of ice in some spots, as well as 2 to 4 inches or more of snowfall. And we have that little or more part added on because north and west of the city, there are certainly some signs that we could be seeing maybe 6+ inches of snow come on down. We'll actually see how the models unfold as time goes on, but there definitely is that potential as we make our way throughout the next 36 hours. The impacts across the area will be icy and dangerous roadways. Pretty much after about 4 to 5 o'clock, if you don't have to be on the roads, try and stay home, and if you haven't done so yet, you have to make sure your pipes are secure, and that way they can avoid being impacted by the icy weather coming our way. It's one of the 4 P's that we are concerned with. It's people, pets, plants, and pipes in that order, and you have to make sure you have to check on your friends, your loved ones. Perhaps you have a couple of elder relatives. Check on them, make sure they have their heat functioning in their household. Make sure you grab your 4-legged friends. You got to bring them on inside. They can't stay outside in this type of weather at all. And also any potted plants, bring them inside if you can. If you can't, make sure they are covered up so that way they are protected from the frost and the ice development later on throughout the next 24 to 36 hours. And of course the pipes, because we don't want anybody's homes to get flooded. So we have all the precipitation types coming our way as we go throughout the next 2 days. We're talking about right here how you have your precip types of rain, sleet, freezing rain, and snow. And let me step back for just a moment, because you can see right there in this graphic that with the rain coming on down, we're dealing with the column of air being above the freezing point. So we're talking mid to upper 30s to low 40s even. We have nothing but liquid precip falling down. With freezing rain, that liquid precip's falling down, but it's running into a shallow layer of cold air at the surface. It can maybe be a few hundred feet thick at best, and that way, when the precipitation falls down, it lands on the frozen surfaces or maybe even sub-freezing surfaces and quickly adheres, creating an icy layer that can quickly build up to us perhaps getting that 1/4 inch to maybe even ½ an inch of ice in some spots. Sleet, that's when you have a little bit more of a thicker layer of cold air at the surface, where as that rain starts to fall down in towards that colder layer, it begins to build up an icy coating around it, and you get little pellets dropping on down, and you can actually see them bouncing on the surface almost like ping pong balls. And of course, with snow, the entire column of air is below 32 degrees, below the freezing point, so it's just falling as frozen precipitation, and little snow crystals are falling on down. Now, if you happen to be out and about, you have to make sure you are well aware of the potential of dealing with icy roadways and also black ice. So here's some black ice driving tips right there. Make sure you keep your steering wheel straight, do not brake, and take your foot off the accelerator to make sure you can slow down at a nice even pace. Because if you try and force yourself to slow down, you're just going to slip and slide, and then you're going to end up off the roadways or end up in an accident right there. And you can easily get these conditions coming around, especially in some of the more rural areas where the temperatures can trend colder than down across some of the urban areas like the Houston downtown area. And if you're not too familiar with dealing with cold air like we are seeing come our way, here are some cold weather what to wear tips as you step out and about across Houston. Like I said, if you happen to have the need to go out, It's Valentine's Day. We got President's Day coming on up. You got multiple reasons to stay inside, stay warm, and stay dry. But as we make our way in throughout the next 2 to 3 days, we're going to go from chilly to extreme cold. So if you do step out, you have to make sure you have multiple layers on, and those layers need to be insulated, as well as perhaps waterproof as well, depending upon if you're dealing with any precipitation coming on down, or maybe you're chipping off some ice off your windshield, or you're having to deal with some snow in your vicinity perhaps. You have to shovel it. You have to make sure you have gear that's also waterproof as well. So here's a look at the latest satellite radar imagery across Texas. We can definitely see there's a good amount of quiet going on right there. Quiet conditions across from Dallas to Austin towards Laredo. But to the west, we can see that snow just ramping on up across towards the San Angelo area, towards the Texas Panhandle. Up by our vicinity, we do have those rain showers coming down, light misty rain showers, and some areas have actually seen some freezing rain being reported. Areas north of the Houston metro area where temperatures are trending towards the low 30s, therefore around the freezing point, and we get that potential. But north and west of Houston, you got 25 in Austin, 16 in Dallas, 6 degrees in Lubbock, and 0 right there, one big goose egg in Amarillo. So yes, we just got frozen precipitation falling down, and in some spots it is piling on up. Right here, the latest satellite radar imagery with the temperatures. We do have a little bit of some pink popping up near Conroe, near Cleveland as well, where the temperatures are right at the freezing point. Bush and the Continental, Hobby, you guys are above the freezing point, so we just have liquid precipitation falling down, just rain, and in Galveston, it is just rain showers. But as we see this precipitation falling down, it's gradually cooling down the atmosphere, and we can get that changeover from green to pink, from rain to a little wintry mix, a little sleet, little freeze rain action, as we continue to see that cold air slowly seep on in. So temperatures earlier on today were trending above the freezing point, but after these next few hours, say goodbye to being above freezing until probably Thursday afternoon or at the earliest Friday's time frame. So we're going to spend multiple days with the high temperatures and definitely the low temperatures trending below the freezing point. So it's going to be quite cold around town for quite some time. And temperatures throughout the day will just continue to go down, especially once that precipitation starts to come down. We'll gradually cool the atmosphere down each and every hour, all the way throughout the morning hours tomorrow, where we're talking about freezing rain and perhaps sleet and even snow coming on down across Houston. High temperatures over the next several days. Yeah, look there. You can see we are trending at around 32 degrees or colder through Thursday. By Friday and in towards next weekend, bam, look at that. What cold snap. We have temperatures rising, I should say, nicely into the mid to upper 40s by Friday, and then the mid to upper 60s for Saturday and Sunday. So yes, this weekend is not the greatest, but we will get the chance to salvage things as we make our way throughout this shortened work week and into next weekend. While the high temperatures will trend towards the colder side of things, the morning low temperatures will trend down in towards maybe of a frigid type feeling, especially with multiple mornings coming our way with the potential of a hard freeze coming on in. So any liquid water that is around after the next 24 hours will freeze and become solid, and we'll deal with that potential of it being around throughout the next several days. Temperatures across the country look like this. We got some mild temperatures to warm temperatures across Florida. So if you know anybody out there in Miami, I'm definitely jealous of them. They got 84 degrees and probably some nice pleasant conditions over that way to enjoy. Phoenix is 54. Amarillo, like we said, is 0. The further north you go, we have temperatures with the minus sign up in front of it. So we got sub-zero temperatures from Dodge City all the way up in towards the northern plains. International Falls sitting at 20 below 0. That's the air temperature. Factor in the winds, and it feels like 35 below 0. Wow. That's why they call that place. Its nickname is the Ice Box of the United States. We got 22 degrees for feel like temperature below 0. It feels like 1 below in Dallas, and here in Houston, with the clouds overhead and the rain showers coming down, we have our temperatures in the mid-30s, but it feels, if you step outside, into the mid-20s. So if you do have the need to go out and about, multiple layers are advised. I was out earlier on for H-Town Rush outside our studio, and after about maybe 30 minutes or so, I can definitely feel that chill starting to settle in, and I had 2 layers on. So yeah, you definitely have to layer on up. The further north you go, way up north, it is nothing but Arctic temperatures out there, and that's where that cold air is coming from, straight up from the Arctic Circle, Siberia, coming straight on down across North America, right down here across towards the central and southern plains. So we'll take you hour by hour, looking right here throughout your future track, going past the morning hours into 6 o'clock. that's when we can see rain showers falling on down in Dayton and Pearland, but just north and west, Sugar Land. We now have that precipitation changing over to a little wintry mix. Freezing rain and sleet likely to be coming down for you guys. Same thing for Tomball. But up near Huntsville, we've now changed over from wintry mix to snow. And that snow, once we get the chance to see a little icy coating develop on the surface, we'll get the chance to easily build on up and pile up in some spots if we keep the precipitation coming on down across that way. Throughout the evening hours, we have that rain-snow line, the pink highlighted area, becoming thicker and getting closer and closer towards the coastal areas, where by a little after midnight, we do have a little bit of a wintry mix coming down right on the coastal areas of Brazoria County. West Columbia sitting at 32 degrees. Galveston's at 36. They have a chilly rain coming on down. All across Harris County, it's freezing rain and sleet. Now we have some more light to moderate snow coming across the picture up in towards the Brenham area, north and west towards College Station, towards Bryan, Huntsville as well. That's where we could be seeing some of those snowfall totals going into that 4+ inch range, maybe even seeing 6 to 8 inches. Not out of the question for that to happen. As we start to get that precipitation continuing to come down, we're continuing to go through evaporational cooling, continue to cool down the air, and continue to get the chance for seeing that precipitation change over to a wintry mix, then to snow. So during the morning hours, 4 a.m., we're starting off H-Town Rush a little early, getting you ready for dealing with the storm system. And we now have the potential for snow to come down across much of Harris County, as well as everywhere north and west. Galveston, you've now gone down to 32 degrees. It's a wintry mix for you. Making your way in towards the 8 to 9 o'clock hour, look at that. The precipitation is already starting to wrap on up as the system moves to the east. Dry air is rushing on in behind it, starting to dry out the atmosphere, decreasing those chances for showers to come on down, and even decreasing the cloud cover up across portions of northwestern Houston metro area. So we may be wrapping up this thing nicely as we make our way in towards the lunchtime hour. But nonetheless, we're still going to go through a very long period of dealing with that wintry precipitation coming on down. Past the 4 o'clock hour, we just got a cold northwesterly wind moving on down across the region. And as a result of that recent ice and snowpack on the ground, it's going to make it feel very much even colder out and about. That wind chill factor will be a really big issue. The Euro model right here we want to highlight for you as we make our way in towards Tuesday morning with that recent ice patch on the ground, as well as several inches of snow. You combine that with the winds going downhill, and the winds going on towards the decreasing side of things, becoming nice and relaxed. The skies are clearing on out. It's that combination right there that can lead to our temperatures really bottoming out by Tuesday morning. That's where that potential is for record cold temperatures to come our way. Historic cold temperatures, I may add, as we may set a record for the month of February right there. We're definitely looking towards shattering the morning low temperature for that day on Tuesday. Once that one system leaves us and we have that cold air funneling on down for Tuesday morning, all eyes are on the next system coming our way. But good news right now, that system's track, you can see that general area of circulation right there swirling around, is going to be a little bit closer towards the coastal areas, which means it has a chance for bringing that rain snow line a little bit further inland, which means for Houston, rain showers and just rain showers coming on down as we'll have that warm moisture coming in off the Gulf of Mexico, and most of the atmosphere will be trending above the freezing point. So this will help to melt some of the ice, some of the snow that may be around town, if we can keep it on this current track, which a lot of the models are starting to come into agreement that that's going to be the case. Now the snowfall forecast, the reason why I said 2 to 4 inches plus, you can see right there 2 to 4 inches potentially in Harris County. That plus comes into play north and west of the city, where go out there towards Conroe over 4 inches. Huntsville, College Station, Brenham, yeah, it's not out of the question to pick up at least half a foot of snow on top of a little bit of an icy coating at the surface. So that is something to bear in mind if you're thinking about going out and about. Don't bother. Just wait for this whole thing to clear on out and for that snow potentially to melt as we make our way in throughout the next several days, heading in towards the weekend ahead. You can even see potentially snow even pile up. It's a little bit of a pile up in there towards the Galveston area. The ice forecast is definitely of a big concern because ice is the most treacherous precipitation to try and drive on top of. You ever tried driving on top of ice? It's not fun, trust me. We may have the icy coating of maybe about 1/10 of an inch, close to 2/10 of an inch, close to that 1/4 of an inch mark right there. Closer towards to the east, out there in towards the Louisiana border, Brenham looking at potentially half an inch of ice if that verifies. So we have a lot going on in our 7-day forecast right here for you. Of course, it is Valentine's Day today, and it does not feel lovely out and about. Temperatures going downhill throughout the day as that precipitation comes on in across town as rain and slowly starts to change on over to a winter mix, then eventually snow overnight, where temperatures will be around 20 degrees and going further downhill as that winter storm is really impacting the area for the morning hours. By the afternoon hours, we're starting to clear things up. We have high pressure moving on in, but it's just moving more and more Arctic air down this way. Hence, historic cold potentially is in the forecast for Tuesday morning with a morning low of 9 degrees. Yeah, that is quite some cold air coming on down across this portion of the country. Some areas up across towards the northern plains, they would consider that a little bit of a mild to warm stretch of air coming their way. 30 degrees for your high will come on in for Tuesday afternoon, still trending way below average. By Wednesday and Thursday, we have that next system coming on in. But the temperatures right now, right around the freezing point, we can bump those up a little bit more, maybe in the mid-30s, and get just rain to come on down instead of dealing with the potential of ice. We'll see how the forecast plays on out. Then afterwards, Friday, Saturday, nicer weather is moving on in just in time for the weekend. And you can see those temperatures responding nicely, getting up into the 50s, then 60s as we make our way into Saturday and into Sunday's time frame. So yeah, definitely a very complex, very interesting 7-day forecast right here. But you happen to be working from home, school is going on from home, you don't have a real reason to go out and about, you can avoid dealing with any of this mess on the roadways. Stay home, stay dry, and stay safe. And make sure you stay tuned right here at KHOU. We'll have more information coming on up as we go throughout the rest of the day today. Meteorologist Blake Matthews will be chiming in with the latest information later on this evening. Chief Meteorologist, I should say, David Paul will be in town as well, and we'll talk about more information coming on up for H-Town Rush in the morning hours tomorrow.